Hey, how's it going guys? This is Dave2D. So I've done a couple of videos in the past comparing my top picks for laptops. One of the videos was on thin and light ultrabooks, and then I did a second video comparing 15-inch gaming laptops that were around $1,000. This video, we're looking at 15-inch premium gaming laptops. So the focus is on performance. Pricing tends to shoot up, but it's the same idea. We're gonna look at some categories. I'm gonna show you my top pick for that category and show you a runner-up or two, all right? So in no particular order, the devices that are in this video. First is the Acer Predator 15. This is Acer's first attempt at a top-tier gaming laptop, and they did a really solid job. It's a little big, and the aesthetics aren't for everyone because it's clearly a gamer-inspired design, but performance is solid and pricing is pretty good. You can configure them with either a 970M or a 980M. The next is the MSI GS60. This unit is from iBuyPower. They're a company that sells desktops and laptops, but they let you customize and spec them out more than the factory options. So if you're looking for a particular drive or a memory configuration or a specific video card on a laptop, they can configure that for you. And they also do other stuff like thermal pasting and color calibration for laptops. There's a link to their website below. Next is the Aorus X5S V5. So Aorus is a subsidiary of Gigabyte, and they make their own line of laptops. They're not as well known in North America, but they make some fantastic devices at competitive pricing. This one here is their thinner laptop, and it comes with either a 970M or a 980M. Then we have the 2016 Razer Blade. This laptop is pretty well known, it's thin and light, and this year's model is a nice Skylake refresh from last year's. It has a new keyboard, Thunderbolt 3, some new thermal management, but it's still equipped with a 970M. Fortunately, pricing has dropped down from last year, so it's a better value. Next up is the Alienware 15. Highly configurable, you can get this thing equipped with various CPUs, video cards, storage options. It's a little thick, but it uses carbon fiber plastics, and it's built like a tank. It has awesome thermal management, and it can connect to the Alienware graphics amp to bump up performance if you want. Okay, the next two are a little different. I would consider them like bonus entries because they're still premium, but they're premium in a different way. Alright, the first one is the Asus GL502. Asus built something thin, light, and very powerful, but to keep pricing down, the build quality is only good. It's better than a Clevo or a Sager, but when it's compared against some of the other devices here, it's not as well built. But a laptop this thin with a 980M and an awesome screen for $1,700 is pretty impressive. And lastly, the Dell XPS15. So in terms of raw performance, this is the weakest of the bunch. It technically shouldn't have made the cut because it's only packing a 960M, but the thing is, depending on what kind of games you play, a 960M might be more than enough. I've included it because it's still a very premium laptop, but in this case, your money is going into other features like the build and the display. Alright, first category is build quality. As I mentioned earlier, aside from the GL502, the build quality on all of these are very good. The 502 isn't bad, it's just not as good, but the best of the bunch, I'd say, is the Razer Blade. It has a design obviously inspired by the MacBooks, but it's also really well built. Good material choices, very little flex, good screen hinge, one-hand openable. They did an awesome job on this. My only concern with the build is the black anodization. The anode job is good and it looks super cool, but because it's black and the metal underneath is silver, if you nick the surface, it's very obvious. Get a skin to protect it. The matte black one from Dbrand looks just like the stock surface. Honorable mentions, the XPS15 has some kick-ass build quality, and so does the Alienware 15. That's a device that at first glance you might not think anything of it because it's not metal, but the fit and finish on this thing is fantastic. Carbon fiber reinforced with surprisingly little flex on the materials. So because these are gaming laptops, they tend to have lots of ports and good upgradability. All of them have replaceable storage options. The X5S has 4 storage bays, these two laptops have 3 storage bays, these two have 2 storage bays, and then these two only have room for 1 storage stick. Now in terms of RAM, they're also all upgradable except for the Razer Blade. The 16 gigs of RAM there is soldered on, but if you're gaming, you seriously don't need more than that. They all have Thunderbolt 3 connectivity except for the GL502 and the Aorus X5S. Technically, all of the laptops with a Thunderbolt 3 port can connect to the external GPU. The Alienware 15 can obviously connect to its own graphics amp. The Razer Blade is the only one that has official support for the Razer Core, and that's actually the only external GPU I have at the time of this video. Now I've tried connecting it with all the devices here, and if you fiddle around enough, you can get a connection with the core, but none of them are super solid. The XPS15, the Alienware 15, and the MSI GS60 probably have the best connection with the core, but none of them are reliable enough for me to just openly recommend. I think it's going to change soon. BIOS updates and drivers are coming out every day. I think it will change very soon. I will address it in a future video, but right now, if you're looking to connect a Razer core, stick with the Razer Blade for 100% reliability. Now, in terms of my top pick for overall expandability, it's the Acer Predator 15. It's got 4 USB 3s, plus a few display output options, Thunderbolt 3, and 3 drive bays. It's pretty decked out and very expandable. The optical drive even pops out, so you can put in a frost core for extra cooling. My second pick is the Aorus X5S. It has 4 drive bays, 4 RAM slots, and even more ports, but it doesn't have Thunderbolt 3. Now, if you're a video editor and you don't care about Thunderbolt 3, having 64 gigs of RAM with 4 internal drives is pretty awesome for something this thin. Sadly, none of these displays do G-Sync internally, but they're all very nice looking panels. The one exception is the 1080p panel on the Alienware 15. It's dim and it's not very color accurate, so I highly recommend upgrading to one of the 4K panels that they offer. My top pick is the 4K IGZO display on the Dell XPS15. Very bright, great color accuracy, and the super thin bezels bring it to a 10. It's a stunning screen all around. The runner-ups are hard to choose because they're all really good displays. They're all bright with good contrast and color accuracy, but the 1080p panels on the Acer Predator 15 and the GL502 are particularly nice. Now, I'm super picky with trackpads, and truthfully, none of these are as good as a MacBook trackpad. A couple of them do come close. The XPS15, if you're running updated firmware and drivers, it's really solid, and the trackpad on the Predator 15 and the GL502 are also really good. The Alienware trackpad is also nice, and it lights up, and that's always a win. In terms of keyboards, they're all pretty good. The GS60 keyboard is nice. It has SteelSeries lighting and a nice feel, but the layout and arrow keys are a little cramped. My favorite is the Acer Predator 15. I don't love the red accents or backlighting, but it has the best typing experience of the group. There's macro keys up top, excellent typing response and layout, and then combine that with a good trackpad, it gets my top pick. Another surprisingly good keyboard is the Aorus X5S. That's a pretty thin laptop, and yet the typing experience is on point. Okay, speakers, hands down, the Alienware 15 takes the crown. The position is nice on these, but it's also the size. They're big, and they put out some decent bass despite not having a dedicated sub, so even when system fans kick in, these are positioned in a way that you kind of don't need headphones when you're playing games. The Acer Predator 15 also has really good speakers. It has a small sub on the bottom, so the bass is pronounced. They're not as nice as the Predator 17 speakers or the Alienware 15 speakers, but they're still really good. Everything else here has respectable speakers, but they don't have a lot to differentiate between them. The performance on all of these laptops are really good. They're all running the same i7 6700HQ Skylake processor, and for the most part, gaming performance is dependent on the video card. The 970M is like a 15% jump over the 960M, and then the 980M is around a 20% improvement over the 970M. And obviously it depends on the game, but that's the general idea. The other thing that differentiates the performance of these laptops is drive speeds. Not so much for gaming performance, but just system performance overall. A lot of them are using the Samsung PM951 drives, which have fast read speeds, but the write speeds are kind of mediocre. The Predator 15 and the Aorus X5S come with faster drives, which is nice, and the MSI GS60, if you get it from iBuyPower, you can choose faster storage instead of the stock drives and pay almost the same price. Alright, let's talk thermals. Fast CPUs and video cards produce a lot of heat, and when I run a thermal cam on these laptops, they all have similar temperatures, maybe a couple of degrees apart, except for the GL502. That one runs a little hot. It's still a very acceptable temperature by Intel's guidelines, but it's not comfortable to play games on your lap. For fan noise, when they're all under load, they all hit mid-40s, except for the Aorus X5S. That one is noticeably louder, and if you're gaming, you'll want headphones. But the general theme is that thicker laptops like the Alienware and the Predator tend to have bigger fans, so they tend not to come on as often as the thinner laptops. But when they do spin, they're just as loud. Now, none of these laptops are budget options. They're all premium gaming laptops, and in terms of their value, they're difficult to compare because there's so many variables that differ between them. But there's two of them that kind of stick out as having slightly better value than the other options here, and these are the Acer Predator 15 and the Asus GL502. These two can be configured with a 980M for around $1,700 or $1,800. Now, battery life on gaming laptops tend to be pretty short, especially when you pack in some powerful video cards, but the leader of this bunch is the Alienware 15. 91 watt-hour battery, and when I have the screen at around 80% brightness, I'm getting 5.5 or 6 hours of regular use. The Predator 15 also has a big battery at 90 watt-hours, and that gives around 5.5 hours of regular use, but I put it in second place because it's a noticeably bigger machine. Honorable mention, the XPS15 has an 84 watt-hour battery that lasts around 6 hours, and it's a really thin laptop, but keep in mind that it's a GTX 960M. Okay, so depending on what you need or want in a gaming laptop, your top pick is probably going to be different from mine, but my personal favorite, it's either the Acer Predator 15 or the Alienware 15. Both of them are essentially perfect for playing games and editing videos. I like the Alienware 15 more because of its aesthetics and its size, but the Predator 15 is a little bit cheaper. So if your budget is tighter, maybe look at that one. And if you're looking for something that's thin and light, my top pick is the Razer Blade 14. Hope you guys liked this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. It's been nice. I'll see you guys next time.